Thanks, good luck.
A brutal, swift swordsman known as the Battōsai vanishes after the Bakumatsu War, vowing never to kill again. Years later, he's Himura Kenshin, a wanderer with a reverse blade sword. When a ruthless industrialist and a sadistic killer threaten innocent lives and a dojo, Kenshin must confront his past and protect his new friends, proving that true strength lies not in killing, but in defending the helpless.
Body count again!
It's been fun.
Carry a useless weapon.
Do you remember? Not that man, I have forsaken my past.
Wedding now, you must be crazy. Yeah, you lucky bat.
I'm getting married. I can't die.
We must kill Sword now!
We're here? But how?
That monster of a gun's
go!
our only real option.
See how skilled you really are, shall we? Give up! I surrender! Whoa! Win against that thing. Right?
I offer you my surrender.
This is hell!
There are some things all the money in the world could... It's Megumi!
He's after Kaoru!
Decided to wake up. Please, save your...
No, Kaoru!
Kill me with a blade like that?
Stay strong.
Getting better, but you're still... Mind. Enough so that her... She has 2 minutes, I'd get.
So be it.
Time to decide.
No more playing games. I'm
You are known so well.
do this.
Dad! You're not that man.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the lightning-fast, sword-clashing world of the 2012 live-action Rurouni Kenshin. Get ready for a deep dive into the Meiji era, where swordsmanship is an art, and Kenshin Himura, the legendary assassin turned protector, takes center stage. We'll explore every incredible fight, every dramatic moment, and every character who makes this movie an absolute spectacle. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. The film opens not with gentle cherry blossoms, but with the visceral, rain-slicked chaos of the Bakumatsu War, a time when Japan was tearing itself apart. The night is a swirling canvas of shadows and the metallic glint of steel. Amidst the downpour and the screams of battle, a figure moves with impossible speed, a blur of motion leaving a trail of fallen samurai. This is the legendary Hitokiri Battōsai, the manslayer. His katana slices through the air with a chilling whoosh, each strike precise, devastating. The clang of blades is sharp, followed by the sickening thud of bodies hitting the muddy ground. He's not just fighting, he's an instrument of fate, embodying the brutal end of an era. The sheer efficiency of his movements is terrifying. No wasted effort, just pure, deadly focus. The camera struggles to keep up, mirroring the helplessness of his opponents as they fall before his overwhelming skill. We hear the rain, the shouts, the shink of his blade being drawn, and the gurgle of a dying man. It's a grim ballet, setting the stage for the weight of his past. The roar of a cannon in the distance marks the dawn of a new age, and as the dust settles, the Battōsai simply vanishes, leaving behind a legacy of blood and fear. Years later, the Meiji era has begun, a time of supposed peace, though echoes of the past still linger. The scene shifts dramatically, showing a much different Japan. We meet a young woman, Kaoru Kamiya, struggling to keep her family's kendo dojo alive. She's feisty, determined, but her dojo is suffering because someone is going around claiming to be the Battōsai and committing murders, bringing shame to the Kamiya Kanryū style. The local police, bless their hearts, aren't doing much, probably busy enjoying their new uniforms. One sunny afternoon, a lone wanderer stumbles into town. He's scruffy, wearing tattered clothes, with a distinctive cross-shaped scar on his left cheek and a gentle, almost apologetic demeanor. This, of course, is Himura Kenshin, the very Battōsai we saw in the war, now sporting a reverse blade sword, a sakabato, a testament to his vow never to kill again. He looks like he couldn't hurt a fly, honestly. Kaoru, understandably, initially mistakes him for a harmless drifter, until he accidentally reveals his incredible speed and agility when he catches a dropped object with a blink-and-you-miss-it move. Their paths cross more directly when Kaoru is cornered by a group of thugs led by one of the fake Battōsai's men. She's a skilled martial artist herself, but outnumbered. Just as things look bleak, Kenshin steps in. The thugs, thinking he's just a skinny guy, rush him, and then the magic happens. Kenshin moves. It's not the lethal grace of the old Battōsai, but a defensive, incredibly precise dance. His sakabato deflects strikes with a crisp clink, delivering blunt force blows that send men flying. We hear the thwack of his scabbard against a jaw, the oof of a stomach punch, the whoosh of his blade spinning just an inch from a vital spot. He disarms, disorients, and disables, all without drawing blood. The thugs are utterly bewildered, and honestly, so are we for a moment. This isn't just fighting, it's a demonstration of controlled power. Kaoru watches wide-eyed as this seemingly harmless man takes down an entire group in seconds. She's utterly flabbergasted and maybe a little smitten despite herself. He then reveals his sakabato, explaining his pacifist oath, and a tentative friendship begins. Kaoru, desperate for help and perhaps a bit intrigued by his mysterious past, invites him to stay at her dojo. Her young, spirited student Yahiko Myojin is less impressed, seeing him as just another mouth to feed initially, but even he can't deny Kenshin's quiet strength. Life at the dojo is a stark contrast to Kenshin's previous existence. He helps with chores, chops wood with absurd efficiency, probably because he just needed to deflect the axe rather than swing it, and occasionally gives Yahiko pointers without ever raising his voice. It's a peaceful interlude, but the shadows of the past and the present don't stay away for long. The real culprit behind the fake Battōsai murders is Udo Jin-e, a genuinely unsettling character with a chilling laugh and an even more chilling technique called the Shin no Ippo, one-way blade, which hypnotizes his opponents into paralysis. He's a true psychopath, reveling in fear and violence. He's not doing it for any grand cause, just for the thrill of the kill and to provoke Kenshin. Because of course, Kenshin can't just have a quiet life, can he? Someone always has to drag him back into the fray. Meanwhile, we're introduced to another major player in this complex tapestry, Kanryū Takeda, a flamboyant, wealthy industrialist with a penchant for Western attire and a total disregard for human life. He's building an empire on the illegal production and distribution of opium, a truly nasty business. He employs an army of thugs and a handful of genuinely dangerous elite fighters, making him a formidable antagonist. And who's making this opium? A beautiful and intelligent doctor named Megumi Takani, who has been forcibly enslaved by Kanryū. She's desperate to escape, haunted by her role in creating the drug that's destroying lives. Her attempts to flee are met with brutal force, showcasing Kanryū's cruelty. The stakes immediately rise. It's not just about Kenshin's past, but about protecting innocent lives in the present. This guy makes a Bond villain look like a benevolent philanthropist. Kenshin first encounters Megumi when she makes a desperate escape from Kanryū's goons. She's running through the streets, crying for help, only to be cornered. Kenshin, ever the silent guardian, appears as if from nowhere. The ensuing fight is short but intense. Kanryū's men are armed with a mix of swords and primitive firearms. Kenshin, again, moves with incredible speed, a whirlwind of defensive movements. The snap of a rifle butt against his scabbard, the whoosh as he dodges a bullet, the thud of a henchman being knocked out by a precise kick. He's like a human shield, protecting Megumi as he incapacitates her pursuers. She's initially terrified, then awestruck by his quiet heroism. Kenshin takes her back to the dojo, where she finds a temporary sanctuary and begins to bond with Kaoru and Yahiko. This is where the emotional core of the film really starts to form. Kenshin isn't just fighting for himself, but for the family he's slowly building. The peace at the dojo is shattered, however, when Jin, the fake Battōsai, makes his move. He's been watching, waiting, and now he strikes. He attacks Kaoru, using his hypnotic technique, leaving her paralyzed and screaming in terror. Kenshin arrives just in time to see Jin taunting him, reveling in the fear he instills. The air crackles with Kenshin's barely suppressed rage. This is the first time we see the true Battōsai fighting spirit flicker beneath his gentle exterior. Their brief clash is electrifying. Jin is fast, unpredictable, and clearly deranged. Kenshin, still holding back, finds himself momentarily outmaneuvered, his sakaba toe clashing against Jin's deadly blade with a frenetic clink, clank, clank. Jin vanishes, leaving a traumatized Kaoru and a furious Kenshin. The stakes are now intensely personal. Kaoru's scream echoes, a sound that fuels Kenshin's resolve to put an end to this madness. He knows he has to shed his pacifist facade, at least internally, to deal with this monster. Before the big confrontation, Kenshin needs an ally. Enter Sanosuke Sagara, a boisterous, muscle-bound street brawler with a giant, unwieldy zanbato, a colossal sword that's more like a blunt weapon designed to crush rather than cut. He's introduced trying to fight the government, convinced they're all corrupt, probably because he just really enjoys smashing things. Sanosuke is a former member of the Sekiho army, betrayed and disbanded after the restoration. He holds a grudge against the new government and has a price on his head, conveniently posted on a Hitokiri Battōsai flyer that misidentifies Kenshin. Their first encounter is predictably a massive brawl. Sanosuke, with his enormous sword, charges Kenshin, who dodges and weaves with characteristic agility. The whirl of Sanosuke's giant blade is a constant threat, its thud as it impacts the ground, leaving craters. Kenshin, using his sakabato, blocks and redirects the powerful blows, making Sanosuke look like a clumsy giant. He's not trying to hurt Sanosuke, just prove a point. The fight is a spectacle of power versus speed, raw force against refined technique. Sanosuke, for all his brawn, is taken down by Kenshin's precise, non-lethal strikes. Kenshin then appeals to Sanosuke's sense of justice, offering him a chance to fight for something good instead of just smashing things aimlessly. Sanosuke, impressed and perhaps a little tired of getting knocked out by tiny swordsmen, agrees to help, forming an unlikely but powerful alliance. He's essentially the muscle of the operation, the one who can really put a dent in things. He probably thinks Kenshin just needed someone who could actually eat a full meal without looking like they'd been in a sword fight. The narrative quickly converges on Kanryū Takeda's opulent Western-style mansion, the heart of his opium operation and the lair of his hired goons. This is where Megumi is being held, and where Jin-e, the true imposter Battōsai, has also taken refuge, seemingly working for Kanryū, but really just doing whatever sick thing pleases him. The stage is set for the grand finale. Kenshin, Sanosuke, Kaoru, and even young Yahiko, armed with a wooden sword, decide to raid the mansion. It's a classic storm the castle scenario, except the castle has way more ninjas and a Gatling gun. The mansion assault kicks off with Sanosuke smashing through the main gate, his zanbato making short work of reinforced wood with a resounding crack. He bellows, charging into the fray, a one-man wrecking crew. Kenshin, ever the stealthier approach, slips in through the shadows, already a phantom amidst Kanryū's seemingly endless supply of guards. The mansion interior is a labyrinth of corridors, each teeming with armed thugs. Sanosuke quickly finds himself surrounded by a horde of sword-wielding guards. He swings his giant blade in wide arcs, the whoosh of its movement preceding the crunch of bone and armor. He's not precise, he's overwhelming. Bodies fly, weapons clatter to the ground. He's a force of nature, shouting battle cries that echo through the halls. "Come on, you cowards," he roars, as he deflects a flurry of strikes with the flat of his enormous sword, the clang reverberating. He's having the time of his life, probably. Kenshin, meanwhile, is a silent storm. He moves with such incredible speed that the guards barely register his presence before they're disarmed and knocked unconscious. The shink of his sword being drawn is almost imperceptible, followed by the soft thud of a hilt against a forehead. He parries, he dodges, he redirects. A guard attempts to stab him from behind, only for Kenshin to spin, his sakabato stopping the blade an inch from his face with a quick ping, before a swift kick sends the assailant sprawling. He's a blur of red and white, a dancing shadow in the chaos. The sounds around him are a symphony of battle, the clatter of dropped swords, the grunt of pain, the whoosh of a missed swing. It's elegant, deadly, and utterly breathtaking to watch. He's fighting his internal battle as much as the external one, pushing the boundaries of his no-kill vow. Kanryū's elite henchmen now step into the light, each designed to be a unique challenge. First, there's Gain, a master of disguise and deception, wielding clawed gauntlets that make a terrifying scrape against the stone. He seems to vanish and reappear, striking from unexpected angles. Sanosuke, being Sanosuke, just charges him head-on. Their fight is a brutal exchange of blunt force. Sanosuke's Zanbato crashes down, while Gain's claws flash and scratch, the rip of fabric and the clink of steel against the gauntlets. Gain is more agile than Sanosuke, using misdirection, but Sanosuke's pure brute strength eventually overwhelms him, culminating in a satisfying whoomp as Gain is finally put down. That guy definitely needed a new hobby. Then there's Inui Banjin, a martial artist with steel knuckles, whose punches carry immense force. He's a brawler, a pure pugilist in a world of swords. Kenshin briefly encounters him, their exchange a rapid-fire flurry of blocks and dodges. Banjin's crack of a fist connecting with Kenshin's sword guard is deafening, sending vibrations up Kenshin's arm. Kenshin, knowing he can't trade blows, uses his speed to incapacitate him quickly, a swift kick to the midsection followed by a precise strike to a pressure point.
The mansion's defenses grow more elaborate. Kaoru and Yahiko, while not on Kenshin or Sanosuke's level, are navigating the chaos, trying to find Megumi. Kaoru uses her kendo skills to defend herself, and Yahiko, her bamboo sword, a surprisingly effective weapon, delivering sharp whacks to the heads and shins of lesser thugs. Yahiko, emboldened by the action, tries to prove his worth, swinging his wooden sword with youthful exuberance, occasionally landing a lucky thwap. They stumble upon the laboratory where Megumi is being held, confirming their suspicions. Meanwhile, Kenshin presses deeper into the mansion, encountering more of Kanryū's bizarre enforcers. Hanya, a ninja with a mask and sharpened claws, is a master of illusion and speed, almost mirroring Kenshin's own movements, but with a sinister edge. Their fight is a whirlwind. Hanyan leaps and lunges, his claws creating sharp swishes in the air. Kenshin deflects, parries, using his own superior speed to counter. The fight is a blur of motion, their blades and claws clinking as they meet. Kenshin's experience gives him the edge, eventually seeing through Hanya's tricks and delivering a decisive, non-lethal blow. Beshimi, a tiny, agile archer, fires poison darts with silent precision, each thwip of a dart a potential threat. Kenshin has to move constantly, dodging the tiny projectiles. He uses his environment, leaping over furniture, sliding across floors, his whoosh of movement the only warning. He eventually disarms Beshimi with a flick of his wrist, sending the tiny archer sprawling. Then there's Hayatoko, a massive, fire-breathing brute who spits oil and sets it ablaze, creating walls of roaring flame. Kenshin has to contend with the intense heat and the looming threat of being incinerated. He uses his speed to get close, moving inside Hayotoko's massive reach, delivering quick, precise strikes to sensitive points, ultimately knocking him out before he can turn Kenshin into a charcoal briquette. Kenshin probably thought, well, that's new and very, very hot. Amidst the chaos, Kanryū himself, panicking at the sight of his empire crumbling, unveils his ultimate weapon, a Gatling gun. The rat-a-tat-tat of the machine gun rips through the mansion, shredding furniture and walls. It's an anachronistic and terrifying display of power. He's completely unhinged, spraying bullets indiscriminately, even hitting his own man in a fit of rage. Sanosuke, Kaoru, Yahiko, and Megumi are caught in the crossfire, ducking for cover as wood splinters and plaster explodes around them. The deafening crackle of gunfire creates utter pandemonium. It's a truly chilling scene, showing the villain's complete disregard for life.
Kenshin, witnessing this indiscriminate slaughter, makes his final ascent to confront Kanryū. He moves through the hail of bullets, using incredible agility to avoid the lead storm. The whiz of bullets passing inches from his head, the thump of impacts nearby, creates an intense, suspenseful atmosphere. He disarms Kanryū with a single swift move, sending the Gatling gun spinning to the ground with a final clang. Kanryū, now weaponless and utterly terrified, is quickly apprehended, his reign of terror brought to a pathetic end. It's a moment of satisfying justice, proving that even overwhelming firepower can't defeat a true master. With Kanryū neutralized, the true final confrontation awaits. Jin-e, the deranged Battōsai imposter, reveals himself to Kenshin, dragging a still paralyzed Kaoru as bait. This is the moment Kenshin has dreaded, where his past catches up to his present. Jin-e taunts him, pushing Kenshin to the brink, calling him a weak pacifist. He even threatens to make Kaoru kill herself using his hypnotic technique, a truly heinous act designed to break Kenshin's spirit. The tension is unbearable. Kaoru's eyes are wide with terror, her body unresponsive. The final duel between Kenshin and Jin-e is not just a fight, it's a psychological battle, a dance between two legendary swordsmen on opposing ends of the moral spectrum. Jin-e is chaos and cruelty, his strikes wild but potent, his sword glowing with a dark energy from his hypnotic power. Kenshin is controlled fury, his movements precise, his determination unwavering. The fight is incredibly fast, a dizzying exchange of blows. The shing of steel on steel rings through the air, sharp and unyielding. Kenshin, for the first time in the film, unleashes the true speed and power of the Battōsai, but still with the Sakabato. He moves like lightning, a red and white blur. He deflects Jin-e's hypnotic attacks, relying on sheer will and skill. Jin-e's technique, designed to paralyze, is formidable, but Kenshin's mind is too strong, his resolve to protect Kaoru too absolute. The fight spills through the mansion, each strike carrying immense weight. The crack of their blades meeting head-on sends shockwaves. Kenshin is pushed to his absolute limit. Jin-e's wild laughter echoes, his eyes glinting with madness. At one point, Kenshin is disarmed, the clatter of his Sakabato hitting the floor a terrifying sound. He has to use his bare hands, his incredible martial arts skills, to fend off Jin-e's deadly blade. The camera work is dynamic, circling them, capturing every precise movement, every near miss, every grunt of exertion. As the fight reaches its climax, Jin-e manages to land a blow, forcing Kenshin to his knees. He holds Kaoru hostage, pushing Kenshin further. Kenshin, fueled by Kaoru's plight, finally taps into the raw power of his Battōsai instincts. He moves with such incredible speed that it almost seems supernatural. He retrieves his Sakabato in a blink. The final exchange is a flurry of impossible speed. Kenshin closes the distance, his Sakabato a blur. Jin-e's blade flashes, but Kenshin's is faster. He strikes Jin-e with the blunt edge of his reverse blade, a devastating, bone-shattering blow that sends Jin-e reeling, breaking his will to fight. It's a victory, but a harrowing one. Jin-e, defeated but unrepentant, looks at Kenshin. He chooses to fall on his own blade rather than be taken alive or acknowledge Kenshin's victory. The thud of his body hitting the ground is grim, a quiet end to a violent life. It's a somber moment, reminding Kenshin of the thin line between savior and killer. He's protected his friends, kept his vow, but the weight of his past still lingers. Kaoru, freed from the hypnosis, slowly regains her senses, terrified but safe. The silence after the battle is deafening, broken only by the quiet sounds of healing and recovery. In the aftermath, Megumi, free from Kanryū's clutches, begins to heal the wounded, her medical expertise finally being used for good. Sanosuke, battered but victorious, grumbles good-naturedly, probably already thinking about his next big fight, or maybe just a nap. Yahiko, wide-eyed and inspired, looks at Kenshin with newfound admiration. The dojo, though damaged, stands as a symbol of their resilience. Kenshin, ever the wanderer, initially tries to leave, believing he brings only trouble to those around him. He sees himself as a burden, a walking embodiment of violence. But Kaoru, with her typical fiery spirit and gentle heart, stops him. She tells him that the dojo is his home, that he is family, and that his presence brings protection, not danger. It's a deeply emotional scene, a quiet confession of acceptance and affection. Kenshin, for the first time, finds a true sense of belonging. The film closes with Kenshin staying at the dojo, the group now a small, unconventional family. He continues his watch over them, the gentle wanderer, with the weight of a legend, now rooted in a place he can truly call home. The cross-shaped scar on his cheek, a constant reminder of his bloody past, now serves as a symbol of his unwavering resolve to protect the innocent. He's not just Himura Kenshin anymore. He's Kenshin, the protector of the Kamiya dojo, and probably the guy who still never pays for dango.
As the dust settles and Kenshin finds his reluctant place among his newfound family, we're left with the potent imagery of a warrior striving for peace in a world still haunted by violence. This movie isn't just a collection of flashy fights, it's a profound meditation on redemption, on the enduring weight of past mistakes, and on the quiet courage it takes to choose a path of peace over endless conflict. It reminds us that true strength isn't about how many enemies you can defeat, but how many lives you can touch, heal, and protect. It's about finding light even in the darkest corners of your own history. Rurouni Kenshin 1212 is a masterclass in live-action adaptation, capturing the soul of the manga and anime with breathtaking action and a surprisingly heartfelt story. It set a new standard for sword-fighting choreography and proved that these beloved characters could absolutely shine on the big screen. A truly iconic beginning to what became a fantastic series of films.